The AI crypto sector is one of the hottest sectors in all of crypto. But here's the thing, only some of the projects there actually make sense. A lot of them are just trying to ride the hype wave, and those I usually like to avoid. But there is one subsector within the broader AI crypto umbrella that I really like, and I think it actually has an important use case. You see, with all the big tech companies rushing to create their own AI applications, there's a single thing that they all need: GPUs. That's why the AI crypto projects that are creating a decentralized network of GPUs make so much sense to me, because they offer an alternative to the centralized service providers out there that may be more expensive and less flexible. So today I want to introduce to you an up-and-coming project in this niche called IONET. And with full disclosure, this is a sponsored video. But seriously, if you like Render or Akash Network, but want something with more upside, then you definitely gotta watch this, because I'm about to share what it's all about, what makes it special, and what you gotta know about their token that just launched on Solana. Alright, so starting at the top with what is IONET anyways? Well, it's a decentralized cloud network of GPUs that aims to be the internet of GPUs. You can kind of think of it as an Airbnb or Uber in a way, because those companies unlocked additional demand and capacity for lodging and transportation. Whereas IONET is doing the same thing with computing power by leveraging people's idle GPUs. So it's a marketplace for compute, right? Which means that people can rent out their spare capacity and get paid by AI or machine learning teams who want to utilize that. And this makes IONET a DePIN project, by the way, because a network of GPUs is essentially a physical infrastructure network. Also, as they do have a crypto component in their system, it's important to note that they're built on Solana, which makes the whole thing more scalable, accessible, and efficient. Anyhow, that's the high-level gist of what IONET is all about. But there's actually three parts of it in particular that make the whole thing work. First is the IO Cloud, which is the actual network of GPU clusters that people can rent for their AI/ML applications. So that's the main product that people use. But the second component that's required is the IO Worker. This is the application which lets you rent out your excess computing power to the network. It's kind of like a rental manager that lets you see how your devices are being utilized, and it also helps you manage your earnings and rewards. And then third, there's the IO Explorer, which you can use to scan the entire network and find detailed stats or data about the GPU locations and their availability info. It's kind of like Etherscan or SoulScan in a way. Anyhow, those are the three key components that make up the IO network. But I want to go back to a very important point, which is why I think this is a legit AI crypto use case. Because I'm serious, most of the AI crypto projects out there are useless and full of fluff. But this one is different because we know how crucial GPUs are to AI and machine learning apps. Like, you need them to train models like the ones that ChatGPT uses. And you also need them for inference, which is what those apps are doing when they respond to your questions or commands. So you may know all of that already, but what you may not know is the sheer scale of compute that's required. Like, you need huge data centers with shelves full of GPUs, and then on top of that, NVIDIA's top-end GPUs are like $30,000 to $40,000 each. So that makes these quite inaccessible, as they're not only expensive, but there's also a shortage because of the crazy demand. That's why NVIDIA has rocketed to become the largest company in the world, and that's why these decentralized compute marketplaces are so clutch, because they offer a scalable and affordable alternative to the centralized services out there. Now, I bet some of y'all have been itching to learn more about their token as soon as I mentioned it earlier. Well, it's called the IO token, and it recently launched on Solana as an SPL token. Its purpose is to serve as the medium of exchange for their network and also as the currency of compute for AI applications in general. Now, you don't have to use the IO token for their marketplace payments, but if you do, you'll save some money on fees. So that's a clear benefit. Next, in terms of its tokenomics, it has a total supply of 800 million and an initial supply of 500 million. Early investors will have a 2-year vesting period, while the team will have a 3-year vesting period. Now, something that I really like is that the remaining 300 million tokens will all be for community rewards. That's a massive 37.5% of the supply, and I personally like it when a large amount is dedicated to the community. Now, something that's important to note is that if you are a staker or GPU supplier, higher, then you'll get rewards every hour. But the rate of rewards will decrease over time as to incentivize early involvement to help build up the network. And lastly, the token will have some yearly inflation, but that will be dropping constantly, and plus there's a burn program in place based on the fees earned. So personally, if you ask me, I think their tokenomics are quite solid. So that's the token. And we already know that this is a legit project in a hot niche, but even then it still needs to have a good team and the right support in order to succeed, right? So let's look at that and see how they stack up in that department. Well, if you look at the team, you'll see that they hail from some of the biggest companies, not only in crypto, but also in big tech. Then if you look at their investors, you'll see that they've raised over $40 million from notable VCs such as Hack VC, Multicoin Capital, and Solana Labs. Also, they already have partnerships with a bunch of big names in the crypto space such as Ether, Filecoin, Render, Navy AI, Kinesis One, Key Network, and Binance. Those connections are why their token is listed on some of the largest exchanges since day one. So yeah, as you can see, their team, their ecosystem, and their support are all top tier. And that's always needed for a project to do well, regardless of how great their tech or their use case is. So overall, this project has huge potential for early adopters and GPU suppliers, as it's really a younger version of Render and Akash in my eyes. Not to mention it's part of the super hot sector of AI crypto projects, and it's the leader of its niche within the Solana ecosystem. So if any of this sounds enticing to you, then go check them out using my links below, and consider renting out your idle GPU capacity if you want to earn some extra passive income.